Chosen one, if you're here right now, it's not by chance, it's by divine design. Out of billions of souls, you were led to this moment for a reason. Deep down, you've always known you were different, that there was something more for you, something sacred, something powerful. This is your confirmation. This is your awakening. You are not ordinary. You are not lost. You are not weak. You are chosen. You are called. You are ready. The world is shifting, and with it, the curtain is lifting. You can feel it, the pressure, the pull, the rising energy within your chest. That's not fear. That's your purpose activating. That's the ancient fire stirring in your spirit. You were born for this. No more waiting. No more doubting. The time for playing small is over. You are here to shine, to lead, to awaken the light in others. And when the storm comes, and it will, you won't run. You'll rise. You'll stand. And you'll remember who you truly are. Welcome to your calling. Let's begin. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. A flicker of responsibility burns within, igniting in the face of a hidden storm that approaches unseen. The universe whispers a task into existence, one that cannot be shrugged away. This is no idle spectator sport. It demands participation, persistence, and unwavering resolve. Every quiet plea, every longing wish, every silent night of reflection has assembled into this single point in time. The moment isn't merely about endurance. It is about rising as a beacon when shadows stretch farthest. There is an unseen selection at play, a calling stitched into the fabric of one's being. Before receiving the words that reshape destiny, pause and take 4 deliberate steps. Press the sign of commitment to affirm readiness. Join the circle to strengthen its collective voice, and mark the number that signals your acknowledgement of this crossroads. Those attuned to this current will feel it. Those who shy away may never see the end. For those who dare to remain, the world as they knew it will fracture into something new. A quiet affliction has already been set into motion, not clothed in the symptoms the world has learned to expect, but disguised as a summons to return to origin, urging souls to attune to a deeper resonance. The ground will not quake with physical agony, but will hum with an invisible shift inside countless hearts and minds. This is no trivial chapter in human memory. It is an unseen awakening, a hidden passage to renewal, accessible only to the attentive. To stay anchored, one must turn inward and listen closely, for this arrival wears a different face. Its force will not gnaw at flesh, but will pierce to the root of what one truly is, testing the center of existence itself. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. A season of stillness begins, heavy with the weight of self-examination and silent recalibration. A voice beyond the noise reaches out, calling each soul toward authenticity. This is a threshold moment. The world is about to witness what unfolds when connection to the essence of life has been left untended. The shift is both warning and invitation, an opening for those willing to reclaim what was once lost. History shows that transformation often creeps in wearing the guise of upheaval, but this time the signal is louder, more insistent. Those who step willingly into this unseen transition will feel sheltered by something beyond comprehension. For others, the creeping haze of this spiritual malaise will serve as an unrelenting reminder of paths abandoned and choices deferred. The hour for change has already arrived. A strange shroud descends, weaving confusion and ambiguity into every corner. This veil cannot be held, nor can it be pierced by ordinary sight, yet it saturates thought and feeling alike. It is not a crisis of the body but of purpose, a reckoning with the meaning of life itself. Its earliest whispers will arise from a land known for ancient wisdom and quiet strength, but it will not stay contained. Like breath on glass, it will spread outward, touching all who have wandered too far from themselves. The world will feel it not in the skin, but in the silence of their own depths, a quiet stirring that can no longer be ignored. An unseen reckoning arrives not as chaos, but as a silent challenge that strips away illusions. What seems to descend as confusion is, in truth, a proving ground. For those attuned to their inner calling, it unfolds as a rare chance to recognize and strengthen their essence. For others, it stretches out like an endless desert, full of uncertainty and doubt. The silence asks, who has cultivated a foundation beneath the noise? Who has watered their faith rather than let it wither in distraction? This quiet storm demands answers, forcing reflection on what has real weight. Prepare, for when the unseen current moves through the world, everything familiar will feel diminished. Only what is unshakable will endure. This does not mark an ending, but instead opens the door to a deeper beginning. What feels disorienting is, in fact, clearing a path for those willing to move forward into clarity. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. This invisible affliction carries no visible scars, but presses directly on the unseen parts of being. It doesn't leave a mark on the skin, nor does it spark chills. Rather, it leaves a hollow space, a strange sense that something vital has slipped away. It bends the compass inward, exposing the void where direction used to be. This is not a sickness of flesh, but of the interior, one that forces people to question what they stand on and who they really are beneath all pretenses. Its arrival is slow but undeniable, growing quietly yet persistently, pressing humanity to awaken and remember where it came from. The message resounds clearly even if unspoken. Reclaim the root, reconnect with the source. The world has wandered into shadows, and this affliction lights the way back. The condition itself reflects back what resides inside, holding up a relentless mirror. For the ungrounded, the reflection startles and unsettles, revealing all that has been neglected. For the steady-hearted, it is an opening to shine brighter and guide others out of the dark corners. It offers not punishment but invitation, a possibility to realign and reawaken what has gone dormant. This quiet upheaval calls for the rebuilding of spiritual practices and the rediscovery of connection with an open and willing spirit. The age has become saturated with surface pursuits and fleeting victories. The affliction cuts through these illusions, leaving only what truly matters, the bonds that cannot be bought or broken. Will one listen to that call, or allow the emptiness to take hold? The earliest tremors of this silent change will arise from a place long steeped in wisdom, where stillness and contemplation have been part of the soil for countless generations. It begins in a region that has served as a spark for awakening time and again, a cradle of insight and quiet strength. From there it will move outward, touching every shore, seeping into every corner of the earth, regardless of borders or creeds. Why does it begin there? Perhaps because that place has always been a fertile ground for deep truths to emerge. And yet this transformation recognizes no single language, culture, or tradition. It is for all. It reaches into every life, summoning hearts to remember what they were meant to hold onto all along. What appears at first as a creeping stillness across the world is far more than a shift in energy. It is a global stirring, urging consciousness to awaken from a long spiritual sleep. A silent call echoes across unseen plains, demanding that what has been forgotten be reclaimed. One region may act as the initial spark, but the fire is not meant to stay in one place. As this presence moves, a deep awareness will bloom. Some will turn inward and resist. Others will lean into the unknown and rise. For those open to its rhythm, a quiet path will reveal itself. This confrontation is not a burden, but an invitation to reconnect with what endures beyond time. The question lingers in every soul. Will we reshape ourselves, or allow the invisible weight to anchor us further in confusion? Among the many, a few are set apart, not by title or privilege, but by a deep-rooted readiness they may not even yet recognize. Their role is not one of immunity, but of endurance. This unseen affliction will not tear flesh, but it will try to unsettle foundations, to shake what has been built in faith. Those called to this task may carry more than others, not as punishment, but because they are capable of lifting more. Their clarity will be tested, their mission refined, and though the invisible weight may try to fracture their certainty, they are meant to endure, not just for themselves, but to help others navigate the unseen. These few must not neglect the terrain of the soul. Grounded focus and deliberate withdrawal from chaos will be their armor. The compass must remain fixed on purpose, not distraction. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. This is a moment where hesitation will cost more than effort. Those entrusted with inner strength are being summoned to lead, not with commands, but through quiet example. What spreads now is not a surface storm, but a pressure that reveals what's been dormant or denied. It will pull at convictions, exposing whether they were real or merely rehearsed. And yet, within this challenge lies extraordinary potential. Those anchored in purpose have been prepared, knowingly or not, to help realign others. Their presence matters more now than ever. In such times, isolated strength is fleeting, but shared spirit becomes unbreakable. The unseen realm is fortified through unity. It is no longer enough to endure alone. As this invisible unrest extends its reach, the importance of shared belief will become undeniable. Those attuned to higher truth will need to link together, not out of fear, but to amplify resilience. When those walking the same path come into proximity, their presence becomes a barrier against despair. Their collective focus creates a momentum that no single voice could achieve. Soon, proximity to aligned spirits will define survival on a deeper level. The vibrations of your environment will either support or drain you. Keep near those who remind you of your origin. In shared silence, in joint focus, guidance becomes clearer. These are not ordinary gatherings. They are sanctuaries in motion. Each person adds to the strength of the circle. As these bonds grow, they will not only protect, they will ripple outward, awakening those on the edge of surrender. This is the deeper purpose of connection, not simply to shield, but to spark light in forgotten places. Protect it, feed it, let it carry you and those around you through what is to come. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. A new kind of leadership emerges not through authority, but through presence. Strength held quietly becomes a map for those who've forgotten the way. It's no longer enough to cultivate inner peace in isolation. That strength must ripple outward. What you carry within must now be shared. You've been equipped to step forward, not with volume, but with clarity. When others feel paralyzed by doubt, your courage becomes a pathway. When silence overwhelms, your conviction will be the thread that pulls them through. This moment doesn't require perfection. It asks for alignment. Let your daily steps speak the message louder than declarations ever could. Integrity becomes the lantern. By choosing to live anchored in a higher truth, you unlock the map others are seeking. Don't wait for someone else to carry the weight. You already hold what's needed. The blueprint is in you, not because you are superior, but because you are ready. The call isn't about status, it's about service. And as you walk, you are carried. What you give to others, you will also receive in guidance, strength, and unseen support. You belong to a larger design, and now is your time to take your place in it. The part you play in this unfolding movement is irreplaceable, and what lies ahead requires readiness on all levels. The world waits for your active participation, not just contemplation. As conditions shift, preparation cannot be superficial. It must reach beneath the skin. You'll need far more than stockpiles of food or full cupboards. The challenges ahead will unsettle the mind, not just the land. While some rush to secure shelves and storage, your real supply chain is invisible. It's made of discernment, discipline, and spiritual clarity. Stillness will offer more protection than any wall. Prayer will last longer than any ration. Begin building the inner core now, not when the outer systems falter. Focus, awareness, and sacred routine must become your armor. While others worry about tomorrow's weather, invest in sharpening your perception. A fortified body without a steady soul is a ship with no anchor. Equip both, sustain both, and never forget, survival is hollow if your spirit is lost in the process. The process begins in the quiet places within, Real preparedness starts not with lists, but with self-examination. The noise outside will grow louder, but stillness is what will cut through it. Anchor yourself in what remains unshaken. Though the temptation will rise to join the frantic movements of the crowd, real strength stands apart. While many seek validation in numbers, transformation requires solitude. Mass confusion can erode conviction, spreading distraction like wildfire. Solitude, by contrast, is where clarity matures. In that space, you meet yourself without filters. Not all will understand your withdrawal, but that is the point. Step back not to escape, but to refine. In the hush of separation, guidance is loudest. You'll see what's real. You'll hear what matters. Avoid the temptation to be pulled into emotional whirlpools fueled by fear. The collective panic will try to fracture your foundation. Hold still. Let your silence become your strategy. In this sacred distance, reconnect. Remove the layers that dull your awareness. Let nothing obscure your alignment with truth. Breathe into the simplicity of discipline. Choose consistency over chaos. That is where spiritual strength is built. And when the heaviness settles over the world like a cloud, you will walk through it carrying a pulse of clarity. Others will follow not because you command, but because you reflect something they've forgotten. And in that reflection, their own light will begin to stir. A sense of urgency pulses through this moment, not from fear, but from necessity. The shift has been signaled, and the veil that draws near demands action, not observation. The atmosphere is changing, and with it, the responsibility grows heavier. This isn't a season for passivity or second guesses. The tremors ahead will rattle those who have not planted roots in deeper ground. Within your circle, those you care for and cross paths with, lies your sacred duty. They are not coincidental companions. You've been placed among them with purpose. What you carry must now be shared. Be the initiator. Don't wait for another voice to echo what yours already knows. Bring truth into motion through intentional conversation, unwavering presence, and acts of unseen service. Some will need reassurance, others direction. You've been shaped to provide both. Let your steadiness invite others to recalibrate. Your example, calm, grounded, faith-driven, becomes their anchor. The moment isn't asking for perfection. It's calling for willingness. Be the one who moves first, who speaks when the silence thickens, who stands tall when others begin to question. Let your daily choices point upward. In this critical time, your quiet courage becomes the guidepost others have been waiting for. When disorientation spreads, vision becomes rare, and those who can see clearly must help others do the same. Confusion will blur moral compasses, and clarity will become a rare treasure. In such times, the presence of someone centered is a lifeline, and that someone may very well be you. Titles mean nothing in the realm of spirit. Leadership isn't granted through position, but through service and sincerity. You've been prepared not to dominate, but to uplift. You won't have every answer, but you do carry enough light to illuminate the next step. That's what matters. Leadership is often quiet, found in gestures, patience, presence. It lives in the way you respond, the way you endure, the way you guide others without forcing them. This is your invitation to rise, not above, but alongside. As people waver, you become the reminder of hope, of faith, of quiet conviction. This responsibility isn't thrust upon you randomly. It's been growing within you for some time. Walk into it fully. Know that you're not walking alone. The force guiding you is the same one guiding this entire transformation. Let that truth be your fuel. In moments where others recoil, step forward. Be the stillness in the chaos, the warmth in the void. Your impact will extend beyond what you can see, awakening strength in those who forgot they had it. A profound unraveling nears, not as destruction, but as revelation. A wave is approaching that will challenge the very architecture of belief, shaking loose what is brittle and artificial. This invisible affliction will not spare ideologies or institutions. It will probe the unspoken doubts and reveal the hollow beneath the surface. People will reach out, searching in the wrong directions, grasping for answers that won't last. But amidst the spiral, something greater will emerge. A new cadence, a new alignment. This moment is not collapse, it is correction. a doorway into awakening disguised as crisis. And though the skies may grow dim with confusion, those who have kept their inner light alive will find direction without a map. Their path won't be smooth, but it will be certain. And through their steadiness, others will find their footing. This disturbance will pull apart illusions, demanding honesty at every level. It will strip comfort and reveal the essence. For some, it will feel like loss. But for those attuned to something higher, it will be a homecoming. The shift will demand presence. It will ask everything of you. And in return, it will offer the most unshakable gift, the clarity to remember who you really are, and the strength to become it. What lies ahead won't leave anyone unchanged, but it will lead those who are ready into a greater truth. Moments of transformation rarely arrive with fanfare. They settle in like unfamiliar music, asking to be listened to differently. This is one of those moments. The disruption on the horizon isn't chaos for its own sake. It carries within it a hidden map. Though clarity may feel lost, the confusion is shaping direction. This isn't an isolated episode in time. It is a global invitation to remember what we've long avoided. Warnings have echoed in small ways for years, but now the call roars louder. It no longer asks politely, it insists. For ages, attention has been swallowed by the surface, by the endless churn of doing. Now the deeper self demands to be heard. The lens of the world will shift. Status will be eclipsed by sincerity. The chase for more will give way to the search for meaning. What's coming will rattle illusions, not to destroy, but to awaken. Those anchored within will move through it untouched, not because they are spared, but because they are aligned. What unfolds next isn't about endings, it's about remembering. The stirring ahead is designed to reconnect, not divide. It will unmask the shiny distractions that held us hostage, forcing a gaze inward. This is not a disaster. It is design, a necessary interruption that reorders everything around what has been forgotten. Through the tremble, a thread appears, one that leads back to a truth unshaken by time. The shadows will appear to lengthen, but behind them is illumination waiting to be seen. This moment is not the collapse of life, but the return of meaning. The shift is sacred. It is a restart cloaked in uncertainty. The echo that rises within says, realign, return, rise. We were never cut off, only disconnected by noise. The way forward is carved by those who choose to listen again. There is strength not just in solitude, but in gathering, in circling around a common purpose with open hearts. As the shift deepens, the need for spiritual alliance becomes more urgent. Those who build a shared ground of faith form a current that shields and uplifts. Together, they become a sanctuary against what isolates. The presence of kindred spirits turns chaos into clarity. Each person brings their own fire. One illuminates, one listens, one holds space. There is no hierarchy here, only alignment. The more united the collective, the stronger the resonance. Their frequency becomes medicine, a buffer, a fortress unseen. Commitment is the cost of this sanctuary. Loyalty to one another, yes, but more so, loyalty to truth. In that space, fear dissolves, and support takes its place. Resources stretch farther. Courage multiplies. In this new architecture, no one stands alone. The shared purpose does not just offer comfort, it activates healing. A world adrift needs anchors, and sacred community becomes that weight. Not heavy, but grounding. And from there, a new future begins. When familiar structures tremble, it's easy to feel suspended in midair, unsure where to land. The coming days may resemble that. Systems will shift, norms will break, and many will feel unmoored. But that is the moment to lean into something larger than logic. The path ahead won't be laid out in straight lines or clear roads. It will emerge through surrender, through willingness to release control. Divine wisdom rarely arrives in volume. It slips in through stillness, through signs, instincts, and sudden knowing. Trust in this direction requires practice. It asks for surrender, not as weakness, but as alignment with something beyond human understanding. The purpose buried inside this turbulence is not to paralyze, but to point the way back to peace, to source, to who we are without fear. We are not being punished, we are being positioned. As the world groans for clarity, divine timing prepares a quiet path. Walk it not with panic, but with trust. even when the trail is invisible, even when the sky seems closed. What guides you now was always there. It simply waited for your willingness to follow. And now, as the unknown rises, that invitation returns. Walk forward not because you know the way, but because you know who leads it. Remaining anchored in trust isn't about standing still. It's an act of will, a deliberate choice to walk with conviction despite rising shadows. Those appointed for this moment are not here by accident. They've been shaped over time for the very turbulence ahead. As uncertainty begins to rise like a tide, they will not be overtaken. They will move through it with steady footing. While panic spreads and clarity dissolves for many, these prepared souls will act as silent guardians, guiding others out of the haze. Their certainty isn't rooted in ego or personal skill, but in a steady bond with the higher voice that speaks beyond confusion. Their task is not escape, but elevation, helping others rise into awareness. As distortion clouds the air, they will discern the way through, offering calm direction born from quiet wisdom. Theirs is not a strength that shouts, but one that radiates. Through attentiveness, sacred discipline, and continual connection to divine intention, they will light unseen paths for others. Their journey is not passive. It is marked by persistence, endurance, and alignment. They won't merely react. They will embody peace in action.